Have you ever seen a product where the scrap heap is more interesting than the actual product? That's Disney's Wish in a nutshell. Disney released multiple animatics of their concepts for Wish, and we're going to review 5 of them. Now, let's clear up a few things. These animatics are basically deleted scenes or proof of concepts for different points in Wish's production. They were not all going to be part of the same movie because the concept of what they wanted for this movie changed over time. Now, number 1 is an animatic of Asha and Sabina. This is an interesting piece of scrapped concept because it harkens back to Magnifico and Amaya being the main villains. In a hidden hamlet, the citizens didn't want to give their wishes to Magnifico. They instead wrote them down and put them on a wishing tree, a tree which the stars will shine down upon in hopes they'll be granted. Asha's characterization is a bit different here. She's a bit more careful and reserved, flat out saying, "This is too dangerous." Sabina reads her diary to her, saying, "But you long for danger, don't you, Asha?" Oh, and apparently Asha swears a lot when writing, according to Sabina. It's honestly a nice and tender moment between her and Sabina, with Sabina lamenting how he's an old man and says to Asha that she's not a fool for being young and having ambitions, even telling her to stop Magnifico. Oh boy, why couldn't this be the movie? I assume the second animatic between Magnifico and Amaya takes place in the same bubble of concept art, mainly because Magnifico and Amaya are flat out villains, and the hidden hamlet is mentioned. Like I said earlier, they were both villains, and Magnifico's motivations make a bit more sense here, saying how much he hungers for the wishes. The magic used by Magnifico and Amaya get to be a bit more defined than they were in the movie. Amaya brews potions, Magnifico uses incantations. Magnifico's goal is to simply take the wishing star and rip it out of the sky, which makes perfect sense. He has a Galactus-like hunger for wishes. Amaya even has to talk him out of simply devouring the wishes of his best cook, his best guard, and his mother-in-law. Okay, that bit was actually pretty funny. Amaya is the one who discovers the hidden hamlet Asha is from in order to steal their wishes and try to satisfy Magnifico's hunger. I do wonder if Queen Amaya was meant to be somewhat of a callback to Yasma from The Emperor's New Grooves, given her potions mastery and use of them, probably in combat. I also assume the chase scene from Wish was still going to be in here. I wonder if the Magnifico that was chasing Asha wasn't originally going to be Simon, rather than it was going to be Amaya using a shapeshifting potion or an illusion cast by her. Amaya's role seems to be that of an active enforcer for the main villain. And given the next animatic, this only supports that theory. In this animatic, Star and Asha are going to infiltrate Rosas. Asha is more reserved, and while Star is shown to be chatty and quirky, Asha tells him to tone down the glowing. But they are intercepted by Queen Amaya and her guards. During the chase sequence, Amaya is thrown off her horse by Asha. That's less dramatic than that sounds. Valentino and Star, meanwhile, uses Star's shapeshifting to turn him into a turtle, to basically blue shell the two bodyguards on the head. And then the star shapeshifts into a horse again, leaps off a cliff, shapeshifts into a Pegasus, and they still end up hitting the water, although Star helped protect them. Is there anything I need to comment that hasn't already been said by the fandom as a whole? One of my biggest critiques of the finished product is just how Asha really didn't have much in the way of a supporting cast to bounce off of. Now, the talking star at least gives her someone to bounce off of that's not a comic relief goat. Not to mention, Amaya being the evil enforcer for Magnifico would actually be good. You know why? Because in Star Wars A New Hope, Vader was not the antagonist, well, the main antagonist, he was the enforcer to the main antagonist. Tarkin was the main antagonist. Guess who was remembered, even at the time of A New Hope's release? Oh, that's right, Vader. Disney, you could have printed money with this. Okay, animatic number 4 is closer to the final product. It's very late in production. The star is no longer the star boy. Instead, he is the floating plushie. Asha and 6 of the 7 dolts are infiltrating the castle. We're introduced to a new character, Fazino. Fazino was actually going to be Magnifico's actual mystical apprentice. Honestly, Fazino fixes one of the bigger issues I have with Wish. One of my problems with the final product is that for all this talk about how Magnifico can't just commodify the wishes of the people and that people's hearts are intertwined with their wishes, we really don't get to know the people of Rosas. Therefore, the finale feels hollow, making the horror of Magnifico destroying the wishes feel lackluster. With a character like Fazino, who is in theory going to be Magnifico's loyal apprentice and a commoner, seeing him unable to even move because he is in such a depressive state after the destruction of his wish, you know, that thing intertwined with people's hearts, that is a quite powerful scene. Sure beats the final product's fainting spell. Also, Dahlia was going to be a Magnifico loyalist up until the end. I know this cast is already bloated, and they really should have composited several characters, but it's moments like these where I wish that they did not do that, that they should have just shrunk the cast rather than just started cutting scenes. Animatic number 5 is Hulk Magnifico, Magnifico's alternate ending, basically. In this animatic, Magnifico wants the star and intends to devour the wishes of his citizens one by one, starting with Asha's mother in order to get her to surrender the star. She tries to pass off Valentino as the star. While Magnifico doesn't buy it, Valentino proves he's the star by calling the animals to attack Magnifico. Magnifico devours the wishes anyways, and hulks out, even deposing of his own guards before he notices something's up with his tower. He knows where the star is, he's not a fool. So, Valentino actually doing something got scrapped. Sure, it's pointless something, but at least it's something. We seriously lost out on a Hulk Magnifico fight. You know, you could have just have him take inspiration from Genie Jafar. Hell, since Marvel is a part of Disney now, you could have had him take inspiration from Eternity, the In-Betweener, or Galactus given Magnifico's stellar origins. Still think Genie Jafar is more plausible given the theme of the movie is about wishes, and genies tricking people and twisting their wishes sounds more appropriate for a final boss of a movie called Wish, but what do I know? I just consume this media. What I do know is that I was more engaged with this animatics series than I was the movie, mainly because these animatics patched up what I criticize about the movie. We get to see more of the people of Rosas and build on the theme of the movie. We get to see more characters interact with Asha. We get Valentino a reason to exist other than being the comic relief. We give our villains some more depth to them, and we fix Asha's quirky princess personality with no depth by giving her interactions that help give her depth. Disney, get it together! That's it for this video. Please consider liking, subscribing, tipping the channel on Ko-fi. This is Cyril signing off.